So glad you guys could join us. If you don't know me, my name is Tebz. You can tell the weather this morning. This might be a rare occasion for a lot of you. I got a shirt and a jacket on, so God's good. Your prayers are working. Craig and Colette are at Place of Springs this morning. They are with Wawa and Zandili and the church there, and they were ministering at Cosmos City Church this past weekend. So I think Thursday or Friday they were with them, and then this morning with Wawa and Zandi. So they send their love, and we can just continue to pray for their ministry time there. 2 weeks ago, myself and Peter went out to Lesotho. And can I say, I want to encourage you all to prioritize going on a trip somewhere. Wherever it is, just trust God and go. We had a youth equip in Lesotho that we were mentioning on our church news, and if guys wanted to come with. I'd gone on it a couple of years back when some of the guys that were leading it now were at the equip. And it's incredible for me to see what God's just raising up leaders over the years who are now running the equip. God is doing stuff in Grace Cav, but He's doing stuff in the church. There was first time, probably 13, 14-year-old that came on the trip, and they were hitting the streets, evangelizing, casting out demons. Now, I can't remember the last time we did something like that here, but go on a trip and you'll see like incredible things. Why? Because your heart is like channeled in to seeing what God is doing. You've spent money to see what God is doing in the nations, and automatically your eyes, heart, everything is open to see it. It was incredible to see. Their responses was, why aren't we doing this back at home? And they were from different churches in South Africa and different parts of Lesotho. Something that happens when we're on mission that grips our hearts. This church partners with Lesotho, I think 4 times a year at least, on trips, but we go to Lesotho often. We go to Europe, specifically Paris. You'll hear about that. I'm doing a trip in August up to Brazil. There's trips happening throughout the year. Trust God and just find out where He wants you to come along and make it a priority. It's going to cost you, absolutely. But to see what God is doing in the kingdom, in the nations, and here, something happens in your heart when you see lives changed outside of what we're comfortable with. So to encourage you, Lesotho was amazing. I'm glad I went. Thank you for praying. But also find out what trip you can go on. There's still 6 months to come. Great stuff. How amazing was last week? Those that were here, yeah? So this is a show of hands. Yeah, Askis. Great stuff. It's amazing when we have an incredible gift like Chanel come. Yes, I almost did it again. I almost called her Chantel. Chanel comes, and we're stirred as a church to hear what God is doing, what He's doing, or speaking and saying over us as a community. And can I say that there were prophetic words given to us as a church. It's not the elders who carry the words, as in like they weren't given to us. They were given to the church. Yeah? If you call this home, those prophetic words are for you and I to carry, for you and I to pray into, and you and I to trust God to see them happening. I hope you've walked the fields in the last week, since last week Sunday. If not, I hope you do it today. But there were prophecies about building, faith to rise up. If Grace Cav had a surname, it would be community. We build a community. There's a flavor about who we are. It's not just the elders that carry it. It's not just the deacons that carry it. It's not just we, the church, carry that. That you would carry that close to your heart. The recordings are up on our YouTube channel, and I'm trying so hard just to behave. They're on our YouTube page. and podcast as well. So please do yourself a favor, do listen to them, hear it over and over again. Um, if you want a transcript of all those, please contact the office and we'll share them with you. But we trust that we'll carry these words together. We will pray God will confirm His word, and we would see the fruit of those words in our time as well, in our season. It might be a couple of days, couple of weeks, couple of years, who knows, but God. But also what happened, there was a couple of words for specific individuals that morning. And which leads me to part of this sermon of Am I Known? And we're going to look through Psalms 139. You might look and hear and see someone getting a prophetic word and think, why not me? You might come to church and just leave and maybe no one says hello to you. I highly doubt no one would say hello to you in this community, but anyway, it might happen. You might find yourself in circumstances and places where you don't feel like God sees you. Because things in your life don't look like it. I come to church meetings, I'm faithful, I give my tithes, I worship, I do the things right. But it doesn't seem like things are changing. Am I known? Now, Psalms 139 is written by a man named David. I like Paul a lot, I realized. David wrote Psalms. And he's a man with a very colorful and extravagant lifestyle. He's a celebrated figure within the Jewish and Christian community. He's had so many things happen in his life. He's been a champion of champions. He's the best, the greatest. He's been a shepherd boy. He's fought lions. He's fought bears. He's fought giants and been victorious through them all. He's become king, ruling over nations, wealth, fortune, and he's been an adulterer. He's been a murderer. And this here, Psalms 139, is just songs, as the scholars and scribes and fundis of the Bible would say that this is the song of songs. Like this is the chief song. This is the number one hit song. I was saying earlier, I don't listen to a lot of music in my car, except for Saturdays. Like Saturdays is music day, and I listen to 947. Apologies, but I love the top 40 countdown, I think it's called, just to find out what people are listening to and seeing what is the hit. And I sometimes miss it, but I get excited to hear what the song of the week was. And basically this here was the number one charting song of the Psalms. This is what the scholars and scribes said. This is the chief psalm out of all the songs that was written. This is it. This is like the pinnacle. And David writes this towards the end of his life, after he's been a shepherd boy, after he's killed not tigers, again. Yes. I must get a tiger maybe. He's killed lions, he's killed bears, he's killed giants, he's been king, he's had fortune, fame, he's had adultery, and he's one of his mates. And he comes and he writes this towards the end. He writes the best at the end, the chief song of them all. And can I say that this will probably connect with our human condition? So let's read together Psalms 139, and we'll begin with verse 1. It says, "Oh Lord." I was thinking about it earlier. When you start with "Oh Lord," it's usually like something's happened before. Like you're something. But it explains the psalm anyway. "Oh Lord, you have searched me and know me. You know when I sit down and when I rise up, and you discern my thoughts from afar. You search out my path and my laying down, and are acquainted with all my ways. Even before a word was on my tongue, behold, O Lord, you know it all together. You hem me in behind and before and lay your hand upon me. This is one of the big human question is this, am I known? And David is clarifying that you know me. Starts it off that way. You know me. I am known by God. You know when I sit down and when I rise up. You discern my thoughts from afar. You know it all. Everything about me, you know. You know what I'm thinking right now. Even before a word is on my tongue, behold, O Lord, you know it all together. He knows what I'm about to say, what I've already said. He knows it. He knows it all. Are you known? Take it from a murderer, a king, a shepherd boy, a man after God's own heart. You are known. And then verse 6 is, such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high, I cannot attain it. This is amazing. Wow, oh my gosh. OMG for the really cool guys. You haven't given up on me. I've had it all. You called me anointed. I've done stupid things. And as a king, I've done really cool things as well. And you still know me. You haven't kicked me out. What? Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high, I cannot contain it. Oh my gosh. He's basically like, what in the world? Super excited. I cannot believe this. Are you known? 2 weeks ago, some before, I preached and I said that the Bible will preach on its own. If you take time to read the word, you will know who you are. You will know who he is. You will know where you belong and fit in to this world. Are you known? If you look at the word, you'll find out that you are known. He doesn't understand it. How is it possible that you are so involved in our lives? You're involved with me. Then verse 7 says, where shall I go from your spirit? Or where shall I flee from your presence? If I ascend to the heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in hell, you are there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the outermost parts of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me and your right hand shall hold me. Maybe the second question is, am I alone? He clarifies the security. Are you alone? Now David again, he's a poet, so he's one of the creative guys. And he uses metaphors to kind of explain things. And it helps just understand what he's going through. He says, if I go up high to the heavens. Now, I don't know who said heaven is up there. If I go high to the heavens, basically, as far, like, distant, you are there. And we think hell is down here. If I go down below to hell, distance, it seems like it's a really far, you are there. If I go as wide as the seas, as the oceans, even there, you are there. Am I alone? He's with you. All the different vastness of high, low, wide, God is there with you. If you happen to get a word or not get a word from guys who stand on stages like this and hold mics, he is with you. He knows you. Please have that secure in your heart this morning. You are known by the King of Kings. And he is with you regardless of what it looks like, he is with you. Can I tell you that David, when he was being he hadn't been, but he was going to be anointed, he was not even invited to the meeting. Have you been left out from an invite? He was not even invited. Fine, I might not be I'm not talking about me, but the most good looking, but at least I can get an invite to the lineup. Fine, I might not be the strongest. Fine, I don't even get an invite. Am I alone? Does anyone see me? And he gets anointed to become king. And then obviously we know he messes up. He does well and he messes up. And God is still with him. Man after my own heart. Verse 11. If I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, and the light around me be night, even the darkness is not dark to you. I said this joke earlier because I was thinking about it when I read this. I thought about Batman. I was reading this here and thinking, yeah, even the darkness is not dark to you. The night is bright as the day, for darkness is as light to you. David is referring to those dark moments that he had. The dark times where he messed up. He really messed up. He says, even there you were there. Why? Because those dark moments aren't dark to you. You still show up. You're not afraid of the dark, is David saying. And David is kind of just singing himself happy here, wow. I should have titled this OMG. Because this is his response throughout, what? God. Verse 13. For you formed my inward parts. You knitted me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works. My soul knows it very well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was being made in secret. Intricately woven the depths of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed substance. In your book were written, every one of them, the days that were formed for me, when as yet there was none of them. God had his eyes on you before you even had eyes. That's what David is saying. It's like, you know every part about me. Before I was there, you were there, putting me together, knitting me in my mother's womb. You were there. And then you wrote in your book all the things that I do before they were even done. Even though we have free will, he's still sovereign over it all. He's not amazed pulling, I'm assuming God has hair, but whatever. He's not pulling his hair out thinking oh my goodness, Jono, you did not do that. Goodness. I didn't expect Younger to say that. He knows, and he's with you. David understands this right here. I am known. He is involved in every part. God knows everything about you. And it's just like, I can't believe this, God. Like, this is amazing. This is crazy. OMG. I am known. Because you're involved in every single part. You were involved when I was not invited and you had ordained. You were involved when I rose up to the highest authority. You were involved when I messed up. You knew that. You know, our biggest problem is that we create God in our own image. We think that God is like this, like this, like that, and we make him. And when I read scripture, it says that we are made in his image. He doesn't respond like you respond. He doesn't think like you think. He doesn't do things the way you and I do them. He's God on his own, and he's good, and he loves you, and he's got good things planned for you and I. And David is like, wow. I can't believe it. I was chatting to someone earlier, and we were just saying that, I think it was you, Phil, probably, how in touch he was and how real he was with himself and before God. Like, he wasn't trying to hide it. He wasn't saying, oh, no. I'm a man of God. He's like, I love God. I'm messed up. I'm this. You call me. Okay, cool. Who comes against my king? What? No, God says, why would you come against? I don't care how big you are. Like, he's just so honest. Hello? And says, God, you know all of that. Wow. And then verse 17. How precious to me are your thoughts, O God. How vast is the sum of them. If I were to count them, they were more than the sand. I awake, I'm still with you. I don't know when last you had been to the beach, or maybe just outside your yard. Maybe there's a whole lot of sand there. But if you go to the beach, there's a whole lot of sand there. Take it from an adulterer, murdering king. What's on God's mind? You. What's he thinking about? You. Have you tried counting the sand? The granules? Have you tried? And he says, those are your thoughts about me. If I were to attempt to count them, I wouldn't be able to. They outnumber the sands. David can't believe this. I wonder if you believe it. He's just like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. This is, wow. How? And then he gets kind of like aggro, and he eats the wild fruits and then turns into this guy. Verse 19, oh, that you would slay the wicked, oh God. Oh, men of blood, depart from me. It swore he woke up on the wrong side of the bed. They speak against you with malicious intent. Your enemies take your name in vain. Do I not hate those who hate you? What a question. And do I not loathe those who rise up against you? I hate them with complete hatred. I count them my enemies. He's saying, God, if anyone's got a problem with you, they got a problem with me. I wonder if we responded like that. It would be funny, just in my head. Like, you don't like God? God, let's just go kill the bad guys. He's just in that state. You know me. You formed me. What? It's so wonderful. You're amazing. You don't like God? What? Why wouldn't you? He gets it. I am known. I am loved. And then responds in this way and is like, oh, let's go kill them all. If anyone comes against you, God, it's in the Bible, Askis. I'm just reading the word. I'm just saying, before you'll say, the preacher guy said. But he doesn't end there. He goes on to verse 23 and he ends it and says, search me, oh God. He ends off the same way he started and he says, search me, oh God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts. And see if there's any grievous way in me. And lead me in the way everlasting. David's response is, I've had it all. I've had it all. I've had fortune and wealth. Fortune, fame. I've been the main guy. I've been him. But in this moment here, all I want is you. All I want is you, God. I wonder if you and I are inviting him into our spaces, into the good times and the bad times. Are we inviting him, or are we the ones who's running away? Are we the ones thinking that he doesn't know us, he doesn't see us? Chanel gave us some handles and keys to help us with the prophetic. I hope we're using those, and I say on each other, but like, I hope we're getting together and we're trusting God for each other. I hope we're coming together and we're trusting God to speak to me. And the best way, can I tell you, is just to open his word and he'll speak to you every time you read it, every single word. You'll see a loving Father. But then we'll get together and we'll be like, Andrew, I feel this for you. I feel God saying, because we are known and he's with us. I say it a lot, and I don't know, maybe one day I'll get tired of it. But this isn't Christianity. I hope you know that. This doesn't, we get together here because we almost got this response that David had, that what? God knows, loves me, and is with me. Let me get together with the others that know this truth. And let's together worship him. Let's together speak about him. Let's together celebrate this truth. That's why we get together. It's not about hearing one man or woman standing behind here and that's take. It's a privilege again for me to stand here and share the word of God, but this is enough. The word of God is enough on its own. When you and I come together and we just speak about it, that's enough. That's real. That's where the true power is, when we see him for who he is and we get to speak about him. Chelsea, let me tell you what God did this week. What can I pray for you? What can I trust God for you? Mike, I heard Lily was, that's when we get together. But because we understand that we are known by him, we understand that we are loved by him, we understand that he is good. And this becomes an overflow of that reality. Oh, search me, oh God. I really love that we get like this, don't get me wrong. I enjoy it. But this hopefully is not the end of it. It's not the beginning and end of your Christian walk. Because you'll get offended by a whole lot of different things. You'll get offended by the things I say. And trust me, if it's your first time, I apologize. Next week might be a little bit. But stick around long enough, and you'll be offended by someone. I used to tell the guys that I'm gonna. If you sit on a chair all the time, again, I get to sit here and see. So I'm going to sit there next week. Because hopefully we don't think that this is like, this makes my Christianity like, okay, all good. We'll get together in the week. We'll get together after this. We'll hang out together in different places, different times. And that will be church. We'll be wanting to know what he says about us. We'll be wanting to know what he says about each other. Our togetherness will be celebrating that reality. David doesn't know when he's like inviting, like, search me, know me, I just want you. He doesn't know yet that God would come as a man named Jesus 800 years down the line. He would come, live a sinless life, and die a sinner's life or death. So that you and I could have eternity with the King of Kings. I did a funeral yesterday, a memorial, and the reality, it is a sad moment. It's sad to come together like that. But none of us can escape that reality. Our time here on earth is very short. Very, very short. But while we're still here, God's got good plans for you and I. But can I tell you that there is eternity with the King of Kings? There's eternity with the, oh my goodness, response that David had. There's more to this. But the beauty is that we get to come together and sing alongside each other in the good and the bad, because he's placed you in this community. Can I pray for us? Can I say as well that if you're trusting God for a word, if you're wanting God to speak to you, please do ask him. He might use one of us. He might use someone wherever. He's going to speak to you. But we'd love to stand alongside you and pray for you. And trust God for a prophetic word. Trust God that he would speak through his word. Trust God that he'd speak to you in your week. So, Daddy, we thank you for who you are. We thank you for just your love. King, I hope we fall deeper in love with you. Father, I pray we'd walk out knowing that we are known by you. That you know every detail of our lives. That we can't hide from you, King. There's no place that is too dark, that is too far. You know us. You are with us. King, I pray that we would invite you into our spaces. You'd be invited in our homes. You'd be invited in our families. You'd be invited in our workspaces. You'd be invited in our schools. You'd be invited in our spaces. King, I pray that you would search us and you would know our hearts. I pray that you would try us and know our thoughts. And you would see if there's any grievous way in them. And you would lead us in a way everlasting. King, you are good. King, you love us. And King, you've got good things in store for us. In your glorious name.